ladies and gentlemen, to the BFNL Netball Show for another week. Great to be back on your computer screens, bringing you all of the latest from the Ballarat Football Netball League's netball ranks. Once again, as we do every week, Sean Kelly's my name. Joining me as always is Kim Bailey, the AFL Goldfields netball manager. Kimmy, welcome back.
Thanks, Shawnee. Great to be back. Another great round of netball and looking forward to the long weekend and a couple of good games coming up.
Yeah, there certainly is. And one of those is on Sunday at Hisense Arena, of course, the Premier Netball Stadium in Victoria, where our team, our Ballarat Football Netball League representative team that won the Central Highlands Regional VNL earlier this year, will be heading down for their fourth consecutive RVNL Champions Challenge final this week. Hopefully it's fourth time lucky as they take on the Gippsland Football Netball League in the Eastern Regional VNL at Hisense Arena, 10:35 I believe on Correct. Sunday morning. Going to be a huge game for the BFL's rep team.
Yeah, really excited. Can't wait to get down there. And the team said they've got a practice match Wednesday night, so they'll have a run and see how they go. I think Romsey has put together some girls for them to play against.
Yes.
So they'll be raring to go. I think it's most probably the strongest BFL team we've had for a long time, and I'm really confident that we can win this game to make up for the heartbreak of the last few years. But yeah, very, very confident. You know, big stage, big arena. Just gives the girls a taste of what maybe can be if they keep going on with their netball career. But yeah, really excited. Kate's got the girls in a really good place too.
She has indeed, and she's not in a bad place herself at the moment, as we're about to find out, because our special guest on the BFNL Netball Show this week to talk all about the RVNL Champions Challenge and the BFL team that will take place is our coach, Kate McMahon, who joins us right now. As we mentioned, talking point number one, the Regional VNL Champions Challenge final being played this Sunday at Hisense Arena. The fourth year in a row the BFL contesting in this final, and joining us to talk all about the team's preparation is the coach of the BFL's Regional VNL team. The super coach herself is back, Kate McMahon. Kate, welcome to the Netball Show.
Thank you, Shawnee. I appreciate your confidence in me, calling me that. I don't necessarily refer to myself as that, but
of
anyway.
Course.
We'll continue.
Fourth year now for the Champions Challenge final. Surely this is the year.
Gosh,
Fingers
I
crossed.
hope so. Anyone who's been involved as a part of this whole team for the last 4 years is very passionate about our cause, and our goal has always been to get to the state final. Here we are, and I think this is the strongest team that we've been able to field so far. So I'm hoping it'll be our lucky time.
Obviously, it's been a bit of time between March 18 when you won the final up against Wendouree, and another really close game to get through to this stage. And obviously Sunday when the game's going to be played, and there are a few changes in the team, unfortunately, through people away, people injured. So tell us a little bit about who's missing from that side that won that grand final for the Central Highlands Regional VNL, and who'll take to the court this week.
Yeah, we obviously had a really great team playing in the actual season this year, but the final is this weekend, which is a long weekend, and due to that we have a few players away, being Stacey McCartan, Gina McCartan and Molly Boyle, and of course my amazing tall goalkeeper Melanie Allen came down with an ankle injury a couple of weeks ago and is also unable to take part. So yeah, there's been a couple of changes we've had to accommodate.
Yep, but you've brought some good players into the side anyway. It must be said that there's some pretty handy backups, I suppose, if you will, that are going to come in and help us out this week.
Yeah, I think that's, we're going to put on show, I think, a chance to put on show the strength that the BFL has in terms of our netball arm, and we've been able to collect some really key players in Liv Jones, who was going to be really great to bring in, to swing into that centre position for Cara Hart, and hopefully really work well with Jordan Bibby down in the shooting end, but also Sasha Valdhouse, who comes from East Point, will might match up nicely with Lauren Atkinson for the mid-court.
Yep.
And finally, we've also got, Beck Anthony, who's coming in from Sunbury, who brings in a huge amount of experience for our defensive end, a nice amount of height, and also quite dynamic in that ring, as we saw at training on Wednesday night.
It's three players that haven't been part of this Hisense experience before. Obviously, the last 3 years has been 2 games at Hisense and 1 at the Waverley Netball Centre as well. This year, though, you've got that tall shooter that you probably haven't had the last few years in Jordan Bibby, who comes in some pretty good form with North City and coming off the back of the VNL game on the weekend as well.
Yeah, I was unfortunately I couldn't get along to watch Bibby play on Sunday. I would have loved it. But yeah, no, that's always been, I think with any netball team, it's really nice to have that focal point in the goal ring we have that this year. She has some great form, and we know that she can, really do some great stuff aerially, like underneath the ring, and really we need to work out how to get the ball to her, and hopefully we can, and see some good results in that goal ring.
One thing that is a trademark of your coaching is that you leave no stone unturned going into these games, and obviously this week at training, going through a kind of a mini scratch match with the girls as well, taking on some girls from Lake Wendouree that are going to come down and help out, and I suppose do a bit of positional practice as well.
Yeah, no, it's a really great opportunity. Obviously, when you have a gap from March right through to, here we are in June, there is quite a lot of time that has passed, and now we have new players coming in. So it's not that we haven't trained the whole way through. We're only going to have 2 training sessions, but such is life in the football netball world. But I think importantly, it's a time on court that we can use. We'll be doing that tomorrow in a very, I think, probably succinct game, if you know what I mean. We're going to have it really, so we've got an umpire, it's going to be very timed, and I'm going to have an opportunity to really switch a couple of my options around and hopefully just have an idea of what we might start with.
Look at a couple of different things and see if you've obviously what you start with, but also look at a plan B and plan C kind of scenario as well, because as we know from going to Hisense over the last couple of years, and I use we because I've been involved in it the last couple of years, you never know what you're going to get on the day. You can do all the planning that you like, but until you get there, you don't know what the opposition's going to bring.
No, and at the moment we have limited knowledge on who the opposition is. So in that case, option A, B, C, and possibly D. And I will say, given the new netball rules, it does allow you to have a bit more flexibility to be able to change that. Whether I'm probably saying that publicly, I'm not sure, but.
It's the worst kept secret in the world. We all know that.
But look, anyway, we've got some strength across the court. The strength that we have is versatility, and I won't be afraid to use that, and we'll just throw it up and see what happens on the day.
Having been here before, what are you going to take from, I suppose, having been in this position before, having played this game, what do you take from the last 3 years that you think will really help you get the upper hand this weekend?
I think definitely from last year, because the girls all play predominantly, most of the girls, with the exception of North City, who are playing after we play on Sunday.
Which is a whole other issue in itself, which we'll talk about later on.
But most of the girls will play the day before, and last year in particular, we had a number of sore legs out there and carrying injuries. So for me, from a coaching perspective, I'll be making sure, and that's what I've done with the selection of the team, to be able to bring that in, to rotate the girls without losing that depth, without losing that pace, and get better, from my perspective, of keeping those legs fresh and not running my poor mid-quarters into the ground. Like I might have done last year. I put my hand up, sorry heart. But hopefully we get that right this year. It will be a really strong coaching performance, I think, that will help them get over the line and make sure all our positions are running smoothly and on fresh legs.
And the team that you're playing are the Gippsland Footy League representatives of the Eastern Regional VNL team as well. Obviously, you played against the Gippsland League before that, but they've opened up a little bit this year where it's going to be more of a representative team just due to circumstance. So it'll be a really good challenge.
Yeah, definitely. Last year, Gippsland did have the upper hand on us. They had quite a lot of height in their shooting ring and quite a lot of speed for their mid-court. And as I was alluding to before, I'm hoping that, if a number of those girls are carried over to this year, I've really tried to match up some speed in the mid-court with the likes of Lauren Atkinson and all that sort of thing. And with some added height, I can throw some into wing defence, possibly Emma Church, possibly Becca Anthony, or even have Lauren Atkinson running there and Sasha Baldhouse in wing attack. So we've got some really nice short, high, whatever. We'll work it out on the day. It will be an interesting warm-up. You'll see me probably not looking at my girls, but probably down the other end trying to work out who they might put where, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, it's going to be a fantastic experience. I know personally, watching it from the stands at Hisense Arena, I'm very much looking forward to going down and seeing how it goes, and hopefully it might be me that's the jinx. I've been on the bench the last 3 years. Get me out of there and into the stands, and that's what will change things around, I reckon.
Not at all, Shawnee. I'll miss you.
It'll be good. Very much looking forward to it. Best of luck for the weekend, Kate, and hopefully fourth time lucky.
We will be very excited, and as you know, Shawnee, the girls love a good celebration, so hopefully
Certainly do.
So hopefully we can provide that and get the cup back to Stacey and Gina and Mel and Molly and all get together at some point.
Yeah,
and we'll celebrate that.
It will be fantastic. Our Regional VNL Champions Challenge team taking to the court this weekend. We're going to keep going now. We're going to bring Kim back in and chat about a pretty big game last weekend between Sebastopol and Sunbury here on the BFNL Netball Show. Kate McMahon, the coach of our Regional VNL side. As always, you don't know if Kate's kind of confident or nervous. She doesn't really portray all that much, but it'd be very interesting to see how she goes about it. And
she's very nervous. She is. And she's such a passionate coach, and she lives and breathes her netball. So, she thinks that she's got something to prove. We know she hasn't, because she's such a great coach and has done a good job for the BFL over many years. So, but of course she applies that pressure herself. But as I said before, she's done a great job with these girls, and I'm sure we'll be proud of her whichever way the result goes. But I'm hopefully very confident that it'll be the right result.
Yeah, me too. If people do want to come down 10:35 a.m. at Hisense Arena, how do they go about getting tickets?
Yeah, you can just get tickets through the normal processes on the day at the door, or through, I think it's Ticketek. And I think there might be a discounted price if they come in early, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But yeah, there's normally some spots available for that early game anyway. Yeah, we'd love to see as many people down there supporting the girls as possible, and then hang around afterwards for the Vixens versus the Mystic game.
Yep, it is indeed.
So it's a great day of netball, great day of netball if got nothing to do on the long weekend.
Will be a great game indeed. Very much looking forward to it. And as I said before, it'll be a different experience for me watching from the stands. Normally I'm down there. Last year I was sitting right beside you on the bench, but up in the stands this year, getting a bit of a different view of it. I'm quite looking forward to it as well.
Yeah, it is good to watch netball from all different perspectives, but courtside's the best, so suck it, Shaun.
Moving along, as we just said with Kate, on to our second talking point for this week. Sebastopol taking on Sunbury, and Sebastopol, is that the win that finally gets them that respect and that legitimacy? We've been waiting for this for 3 years from them, to beat a side from them that's higher on the ladder and is a real contender. This puts Sebastopol right in the mix. Was that their watershed moment on the weekend? Yeah,
they had a great game. It was a consistent game, and that's what we've been speaking about in the last few weeks, their inconsistency right across the 4 quarters, and they actually got that consistency. I don't think Sunbury have, they're starting to come up against these big teams, and I think that we'll see them maybe slide a little bit further. They're not the team in the last few years, let's face it, but they'll still compete. Like we know they're dogged in defence, and they'll keep trying and trying. But Monique Clark didn't play this week, so that was a big out for them. And but they had a really strong goaler in. They had Amy Starzer, who plays in the RDFL for Rupert's Wood. She played this week. But the defence line for Sebas was really, really good, really strong. Carlia Dix, Nikki Allen and Rhiannon Banner all in defence. Now, they had a bit of a swap around. Normally Banner's goal defence. Nikki went into the goal defence position, and Carlia went into keeper. So they actually changed their structure around. They thought it would fit the goalers against for Sunbury much better.
Which makes sense, because Carlia's got that little bit extra height, which probably serves her well in GK.
Yeah, I think so, and I think it was a really good move by Georgia to do that. She actually had a bit of a look, I think, by the looks of it, and studied the game and just see what the best match-up would be. And Sunbury's Sunbury's wing attack is quite nippy. Sally Potbris, so Rhiannon Banner was actually a really good match-up on her, and could actually pull her away from the play and out of the game just with her blocking style. And the defenders were able to pick off a couple of those high balls that were going through the air. So it was really, really well structured, thought out coaching role by Georgia, I thought. And then her and Adriana just clicked together down, and the sister act clicked down in the attack end as well.
Which you hoped that it would.
Yeah, and I think it's shown glimpses of what it could be, and that we saw what it actually was, I think. And they both shot, I think Adriana might have shot at 83%, and Georgia at 78%. So
just where you need to be.
Yeah, and you look at the other goalers from Sunbury, 58 for Amy and 56 for Kath Williams. So the shooting percentages weren't there today.
Yeah, definitely great work by Sebastopol, and that leads us also, segues beautifully into talking point number 3, our Stockland Wendouree Player of the Week. And it's no surprise this week, obviously now we're taking to putting it on Facebook as well early in the week, so everybody knows, so it doesn't come as too much of a surprise for the Netball Show, but it's always fantastic to acknowledge the person here anyway, and it comes from that game that we just spoke about.
Yeah, I was a bit organised this week and got it up early.
Good
so,
work.
Yes, made the surprise, spoiled it. But that was Georgia Cairns, basketball's coach.
Yep.
And for a number of reasons, she had a great game. She shot very well. She was that commander in there. But as a coach as well as a playing coach, extremely difficult. And she made some really smart moves. One of our great players in our league, and a really, really well-deserved award, I think. She toils away every single week, never gives up. As I said, really hard to be a playing coach, and looking down the court with your vision and just saying, okay, what do we need to do to change to win this game, and also worrying about your own game. So, yeah, great effort, Georgia, and a well-deserved award.
Well done to Georgia Cairns, our Stockland Wendouree Player of the Week for round 7. You'll get that voucher on Sunday.
It's in the mail.
Let's move on and have a look this weekend at round 8 in the Ballarat Football Netball League's BGT A-grade netball competition, and some interesting games taking place this weekend, including up at Darley Park. Darley taking on Ballarat. The Swans just been a little bit off in recent weeks, and you know that teams that have been that little bit off, Darley can get a hold of them.
Yeah, they're slipped. They're actually out of the top 6 with Sebastian's win over Sunbury. So I think Ballarat would be really disappointed. They made some really big headway last year where they could actually be in the competition. And I would think that they would have thought they'd be right up there, and they've seen them slip down to 7th. It's disappointing. I'm sure Lisa would be a little bit disappointed. Losing Katie Lindquist was a big out for them.
Yeah,
really
is.
big out. So
That's a big out for anyone.
Yeah, and that's most probably would have structured their defensive line around that, so they had to make some changes. In saying that, Backers has been really good too. They've only had the 1 win, but Darley.
Close, right town.
Two, sorry. Had 2 wins, so, and they've pushed some teams, Darley. They've actually pushed some teams, and again they've got some young girls playing down there.
Yep. Marika's got them going pretty well.
Yeah, she has.
And when you get the experience of someone like a Brie Rosado in there as well, in the defensive end, that can really help these young players out, all it's going to do is improve that Darley side.
Yeah, and it makes a good foundation for the future for them. I think Ballarat will most probably be just too strong, but it's one of these games could go anyway, I think. Maybe the home court might help Darley this week, but I'm just going to go with Ballarat. I think they need this win. They have to bounce back.
Almost a case of better the devil you know, pardon the pun. And in this case, the devil isn't Darley, it's Ballarat. So going with the Swans in this one. Interesting game at East Point. East Point taking on Sebastopol on the weekend. This will be a very interesting game. Obviously, East Point having the bye last week, getting a chance to have the week off, and Sebastopol coming off that win over Sunbury. This is their next test. Now, can they take it up to a team like East Point that have been on the top for so long?
Yeah, look, I'm really impressed with East Point. You look at their forwards; they've got 340 goals, so they've scored the most goals in the whole competition, and they're not far away from having the least amount of goals scored against them, 203. So their percentage is really, really healthy. I don't think Sebas can get over them. Kate McLeod has played a few games and played really well. And I think that match-up between whether she plays goal defence or goalkeeper, not quite sure. She might play back on Adriana.
Yep.
I think that'll be a really good contest. Just think they're going to be too strong. Lauren Dew's been in great form too in the ring.
She has.
So
that'll be a good matchup, seeing Lauren Dew against someone like Nikki Allen as well, that are very similar in height, but obviously we know how accurate Lauren can be, so it's almost whether they can kind of get Lauren off her game a little bit, where you look at the other goalie, you have Emma Farrell there, who is very, very experienced, knows how to use her body, knows how to feed Lauren very well as well.
Yeah, and I think that's been most probably one of the great things for Lauren, is having that experience in the ring with her, someone guiding her, telling her where to position, and actually getting her into the spot where she can get the great feed. So I think that's most probably been a real benefit for her. She's a great player. Lauren's got a big future ahead of her, and I could actually see her hopefully going back and playing VNL one day as well. I think she's talented enough.
Yep.
She's a really strong player now. She's just matured. So I just think it'll be just too hard of a task. And I think the mid-court, Lauren Atkinson is such a strong player as well.
Yep.
And who's just had an extraordinary season, just carrying on from 2015. I just don't think their mid-court will stop her. And I think it'll be a comfortable win to East.
Yeah, East Point for mine as well. Hard to tip against a team that has not lost a game this season. Lake Wendouree taking on Sunbury at the Wendouree Reserve this weekend. This is going to be a ripper of a game. It'll be a good test for Sunbury to see where they're at against a Lake Wendouree side that's always strong and that have a few line-up issues themselves. Obviously, having to change around their goalers a bit last week with Mel Allen not on the side and really having some girls step up and play well. So it'll be a very interesting game. I might even go out and have a look at this one.
Yeah, it will be. The good news is that Mel Allen's ankle is most probably not as bad as thought.
Fantastic.
And so hopefully we might even see her back towards the end of the month.
Yep.
That's the hope. So, we don't want these fantastic players being out of our league.
Correct.
So that's a good result for her, both for netball and just personally. She can actually chase her kids around now, so that's good. But again, I think Sunbury will struggle. Lakers are an awesome team. Again, they've got one of the strongest mid-courts in the whole competition. I think this is going to be really the test. Sunbury are up against it for the next few weeks. I think they've got Lakers by East, North.
Yep.
So if they are going to be contenders, they really need to step up the next few weeks. Whether they've got the depth, I think they still most probably miss that shooter that they haven't been able to replace Chloe Curran and Sophie Gunn prior to that. I just think that Lakers are just too strong all over. They've had a great start to the year as well. They've only dropped a game. Again, their shooting stats are right up there, and they've got the lowest against score as well, only 199 goals conceded. So I think there'll just be too much of a task for Sunbury and see Lakers have a comfortable victory.
Yeah, Lakers going very nicely at the moment. Interesting game at McPherson Park this week. Melton taking on Redan. Redan back in form at the moment. I think they've won their last 4 games of the year and obviously flying at the moment. Did the job last week against Ballarat. They were 5 down at half-time from what I heard and then came back and won by 10 or something like that. And really good raps on Redan last week, especially a young goaler, Ash Smith, coming into the side. And after a week of, I suppose, a bit of turmoil with Redan, the coach changed. Talia Holloway-Roden taking over the A-grade side now. So really good to see Redan get up and get that win last week. And they take on a Melton side that you kind of don't really know what to expect from them because they'll have weeks where they'll struggle, but they'll have weeks where they'll be spot on as well.
Yeah, with the coaching position, I think Cherie injuring her knee and having a pretty bad ACL injury, I think it just maybe got too
Probably
much.
Doesn't help,
Doesn't help, but she's still helping out around the club, which is great.
Yep.
Talia will do a great job as coach. She's going to blood some of her under 19 players, which we saw last week. So we saw a little bit of change in our lineup, but it was great to see them have the win. I think in the next few weeks, Tash Dack goes back to NT for 4 weeks.
Yep.
So they will lose her, so they'll just need to replace her in the ring and see.
And they had that last week with Ash Smith coming in because Tash will be the first one to tell you she had a shocker last week.
Yeah.
And Ash really stood up and provided for him when she was down, and obviously teaming very well with Ruby as well.
And Melton, again, they're just a little bit inconsistent. They just can't get that 4 quarters together. Renee Hales has still been in really great form. Katie Kakowski, I think it is. I'm sorry, Katie, if that's wrong. But had another great game. But they're just, I think they're just not strong enough throughout the entire court. They've got 1 or 2 shining lights, and then the others just need to become a little bit stronger. I think it'll be a comfortable win to Redan.
Yeah, Redan for me as well. And then the last game of the week, a Sunday game this week, and we're going to push the start time back to 3:30 for this one. You'll see on the screen now as North Ballarat City take on Bacchus Marsh. And I suppose the reason for that A-grade start time being pushed back is we've got the team in front of us for the Champions Challenge, and I can count 1, 2, 3 players that are going to be involved in that game.
Yeah, thanks to Bacchus Marsh and North Ballarat for helping us out and just helping the BFL out really, and just putting the start times back because we still want to see these great girls playing in our league. So yeah, the game's been just pushed back so the girls can get back from Hisense and play. Look, Bacchus Marsh have done a really good job. They've improved out of sight, and I think they've been close to a couple of teams, but they're coming up against the very best this week, and I think the McCartan girls might be outs for this week.
The McCartan girls are outs for this week. They're obviously unavailable for the RVNL game and also unavailable for this week. So that adds a little bit. You've got no Stacey and no Jeannie. You're going to have Emma Church, Jordan Bibby and Liv Jones coming off a game already. It's going to be pretty interesting, I reckon. It kind of opens the door a little bit for Bacchus Marsh if they want it enough.
Yeah, if they want it enough. I just I don't think they've got the height to stop Jordan. So it depends. If Jordan has a really tough game and comes back a little tired, you never know.
Correct.
But again, as we've said all year, how can you go against a team that hasn't lost a game
Exactly.
since, 2014?
Since the elimination final of 2014.
How can you go against a team like that? And, while it'll be a little bit closer than maybe what it would be normally because of those few outs, I still think they'll come away victorious.
Yeah, North Ballarat City for mine as well. It will be a lot closer than what people think. I've got that feeling, but obviously depends on if the RVNL team win as well, because they might just tell the girls, you're not going anywhere, you're staying here and celebrating with us. But
these are pretty much club girls. They'll be back flying. They'll be back flying the flag for the team.
They'll come back, and the RVNL girls probably come down and watch them.
Yeah, hopefully, and that's that's what having rep teams is all about too. That camaraderie you have and getting to know each other. And there's some girls in that RVNL team that, like Beck Anstey's played for Sunbury. I'm sure you get on the court and you think she's the enemy, but you find out they're just great people as well.
That's exactly right.
So it's really exciting. Week ahead for us, and hopefully we'll be bringing you some good results from RVNL.
Very, very exciting week of netball coming up here in the Ballarat Football Netball League. That's all the time we've got this week on the BFL Netball Show. Kim, thanks for joining us. Good luck on Sunday as well. Very much looking forward to kind of watching you as well, and of course with the ACU Sovereigns tonight as well. Be a very good game.
Yeah, really confident. We had a really good game on Sunday.
That's good. Thank you to everyone that came out as well. Just remember and keep it in your diary. Sunday the 26th of June, the next home game here for the Sovereigns against the Geelong Cougars.
So we just went down, Div 1, my girls just went down by 4 goals, and we were so close, but I'm really confident we'll get a win against Monash.
Yeah, it won't be far away. Good luck for that. Good luck for the weekend, and thanks for joining us once again.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us too here on the BFNL website, on the BFNL Netball Show. We're back next week with more from the BFNL's Netball Ranks.